Dark side, light this bitch up.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Bros Think Big podcast. Today we're going to be continuing our conversation of motivation versus discipline. If you didn't check out the first video, I would go back to that one and then come back here. But we'd like to start off with just giving a huge thank you to all you guys for the love and support on the first couple of vids. It means the world to us, and we can't express how much we appreciate the feedback. We love it when you guys criticize us, tell us what we need to work on. Seriously, thank you guys. Josh, start us off.
Well, the first topic we're going to talk about is what are the reasons you guys lose discipline, right? Sash?
I mean, I just think, like, if I were to guess what the most common reason, it's probably the people with, like, experience and unexpected setback.
Losing consistency and falling out of rhythm.
Yeah, and people probably, like, the most common reason is that they experience an unexpected setback and then they look at it the wrong way. Like, this is how, like, the importance of mindset kicks in and all of that stuff. But once you start looking at that problem the wrong way and it kicks you out of rhythm, is what I'm trying to say. And people need to be asking themselves, like, the right questions. Like, they need to focus towards taking it slow, taking it a little easy on yourself. Whatever happens, happens. But eventually, as time goes on, stuff heals. As long as you put in the work for that.
Yeah, I also think that people think that skipping one day isn't a big deal. But I would say, like, that it is, because once you skip that one day, I feel like you're falling out of the rhythm. And you might say, yeah, one day I skipped, it's okay. I'm never going to skip two, right? Because they're saying you should skip a day, but never two. But I kind of disagree with that, because I feel like you skip a day and then you go like, yeah, it's okay to skip another day again. From my personal experience, when I skipped a day, I said again to myself, like, it's okay if I skip another day. And then I fall out, like, slowly. Not like quickly, but slowly you start falling out.
I like it better just to phrase it as, it's okay. Like, I disagree with you. I think it's okay if you skip a day, but never two in a row. Never. Because once you start to do that, then you're already losing the battle. If I were to skip a day, let's say I came home really late, right, and then I couldn't reach my calorie goal, I'm still going to shoot for that the next day. Only the weak-minded would not go for that. They're going to lose that one day and then probably lose hope. But that's not how you should be looking at it. You want to make sure that your mind is strong enough to be able to recognize that, okay, it's just a day. I can bounce back and I won't let it happen again.
Yeah, totally. Stay positive, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, that you could, you should try. Okay, how about this? You should try not to skip even a day. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You should try at least. But I totally agree that you have to stay positive with yourself. You don't have to you don't have to punish yourself too harsh and be like, oh, like, I failed. You know, no, just keep on positive. It's okay. You say to yourself, it's okay. I won't do this again. You know what I mean? Just stay positive.
It really just starts in the head. Like, when you miss one day, whether it's on purpose, whether it's on accident, it really depends on your mindset. Some people just think about it too much, and they're like, oh God, I can't miss another day. And then they end up doing it because they keep thinking about it so much. And then if you have a strong enough mind, that won't happen to you, you know? So it really just depends on the situation. Like, for example, we all have probably at one point of our lives, like, had a struggle brushing our teeth, like, where we just had a couple days where we were just like, like, for example, I brush my teeth twice a day. Hopefully you guys do too. But if you ever came home late one night, you would just tell yourself, I think we've all had this one time where we're like, you know, I can just wait till tomorrow or something like this. And that's all it takes to mess up your entire rhythm. And you start brushing your teeth just once a day. And of course, it depends on the person, depends on the mind, right? If you let it get into you, that's where the problem becomes, you know?
Yeah, you have to be able to just let that go by, you know what I mean? Because it's like, if you worry about the past, you're not going to be able to change, right? Just think about the future. Just say, I won't do it again. You know what I mean? Like, just let that go. Don't think it too much about it. I agree.
Not even the future, the present.
I mean, yeah, the present, yeah.
I also think what a lot of people tend to fall towards is if they, like, miss something that's small, that's when they typically tend to lose the discipline on that and then lose the consistency. Because, for example, for the four of us, working out is something that's very big. We all have our own workout splits and we take it very seriously. So I'm sure if, let's say, something happens, something horrible, God forbid, happens, and we can't make it, I would be very confident that none of us are gonna go out the next day and say, I mean, I already missed yesterday, so what's the point of going today? No. But let's say there's a 13-year-old boy who is watching us right now, and is a middle schooler, and let's say that he doesn't take brushing teeth so seriously. If he misses one day, he's probably gonna go on the next day and gonna say, that's not a big deal, because that's just because it's not something big to him. So how would we prevent that? Even like, I think you have to understand that even if it's such a small thing, if it's beneficial to you, you have to be able to recognize that it is still a problem. It is a big thing.
Yeah, I would say to that people that think that brushing teeth might not be a big of a deal, I think it's just like it starts with those little things, you know what I mean? Those little things matter, because guess what? When you start doing something, you start with a little step, right? Like baby steps. If you don't start with those, you don't go far, right? So it's like those little stuff are the ones that are gonna mess you up in like later. So I would say, yeah, it is a little thing, brushing your teeth, but then later on becomes a big problem because you're not able to handle. If you're not able to handle the little stuff, you're not gonna be able to handle the big stuff, right? That's what I think. Mm-hmm.
Especially what you value most. If you can't succeed at what's most important to you, like for example, if your biggest goal in life is to be the biggest bodybuilder in the world, and you miss one day and then you start missing another day, if that's what you value the most, imagine what you don't value that much. For example, like brushing your teeth, or you think it's not a big deal. Oh, you're in so much trouble. So much trouble. And I think, guys, that should take us to our next topic. Sash?
As far as like how to make sure you don't miss one day, I think you need to be asking yourself the right questions. And that starts by like starting your own habits. You need to be asking yourself, like, what new habits should I be developing? What changes? What's in my routine?
Like, how bad do I want it? You know what I mean? Like, how bad do I want this?
Yeah, simple questions like that. Well, not necessarily simple, but as far as your routine goes, you want to be saying, like, what should I change? What do I need to look over and modify? I think that alone will give you a big boost. And I would start off small, because the simpler it is. If you go into such a hard task right away, then yeah, it's going to be difficult. You're more likely to give up as soon as possible. So keep it with baby steps. It's the same thing. Like to people who can't do push-ups, there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to go around that. So start doing them with your knees on the ground.
Just like if anyone wants to start meditating, start with just 1 minute a day, right? Do that for a week. Once you start getting the groove of it, once you start understanding the whole complex, then go 3 minutes a day. And you slowly build your way up to 5. Don't start doing 20 minutes a day as if you think you're going to just continue that every single day when you've never done it. Just start with the smallest goals. 1 step at a time, 1 punch at a time. 1 step at a time, 1 punch at a time. That's how it is.
Yo, I think another big one could be just you reflecting on yourself. If you make an excuse one day of not doing a specific thing, such as working out, not brushing your teeth, not flossing, something like that, I feel like you have to reflect on yourself. The next time such occasion appears, like you come home tired or you're sleepy, and then you tell yourself, I don't feel like doing this, and you go back to sleep, right? It's like you develop the habit of telling yourself the excuses to stop yourself from doing something. And then if that builds up too much to the point where all you do is just make up excuses for yourself to not do something, and then you say, all right, next time I'm gonna do it. But when the situation actually shows up, you're weak-minded. You're saying like that you have to reflect on your actions. So you skipping a day of something, you have to really understand if something like that shows up again, what do? What is the first thing you say? You say, all right, last time I made a mistake, I'm not doing this again. If that's what you say to yourself, you are like heading towards the right direction more than if you tell yourself, dude, I'm tired. Like, it's okay. I'm gonna do it next time. You told yourself that last time, but you did it again in the same situation. It's like testing yourself kind of thing in that situation. If you're ready to just keep going and prevent yourself from doing what you did last time.
I believe the easiest way of losing discipline is by making excuses. It all starts there.
For sure.
That's where I think those just excuses first, and that's where the whole problem starts. Telling yourself, You can wait the next day. All those little stuff. In the end of the day, you either win or lose. You either win brushing your teeth or you lose. You don't do it. Your excuses don't matter. When the end of the day is remembered, you'll either think, I didn't brush my teeth or I did. No one cares about what else happened. No one cares that you came home late.
For me, my hard part of brushing my teeth is at night when I'm feeling tired, when I feel sleepy. I had a long day. I did a lot of stuff, and I just lay down on my bed. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to lay down for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just take a little nap, be more energized. Next thing you know, I fall asleep. And then when I wake up, I'm like, no, I don't even feel like getting up, brushing my teeth. If you really think about it, brushing your teeth only takes 2 minutes the most. And it's probably going to extend to 3 minutes flossing and stuff. And that's the 3 minutes that you're lazy for. You know what I mean? It's always the little things that matter. That's why it's only 3 minutes. But in your head, when you're tired, you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. It's not that long, but you just feel like it's something bad, terrible. But I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. It happens to me quite often, at night especially. If I have a long day or I'm tired, just fall asleep. But I try to make it up the next day. In the morning, I get up, I brush my teeth, I floss because I couldn't previous night. And I try not to do it 2 days in a row or 3 days. I don't know when was the last time I did it 2 days in a row. I haven't done that because I know that one day is acceptable, but 2 days is unacceptable. Because we all make mistakes, obviously, but can't make up excuses. That's not.
Yeah, I've mentioned it before, and I'm just gonna mention it again. I've always thought that knowing your why is so important, and even for a situation like this, like for a little thing like brushing your teeth, you ask yourself next time that you're gonna go, you had a long day, stressful day at work, stuff like that, right? Before you do it, you should be asking yourself why would I do it? And then you're gonna think to yourself, you're gonna be like, well, I'd love for my teeth to be healthy, for them to be white, for them to look good. And then just like that, you're automatically gonna be motivated again to just go and do it. No matter how you feel, if you put that into your mind, then you're practically tricking it, and you're reminding yourself why it's such a big idea. It's like a boost. It's like a little upgrade in a video game. I like to think of it that way.
Yeah, that's why I say discipline and motivation is really connected in that way. Like if you're motivated enough to look good, keep your teeth healthy, you're going to discipline yourself. You're going to put yourself through that hardship that you may not want to be in just to, reach that goal that you desire for, which is keeping your teeth healthy, white teeth, whatever it is, good looks. And I want to go back on the topic where what it takes to fall of the rhythm of discipline, and it's instant gratification, right? So something that you want to do in that moment, such as playing video games or watching some entertaining video when it's time for you to pick up a book, read something that's gonna help you educate, right? And that instant gratification is in that moment you're like, oh, I have to do this. It's like you want to make an excuse for yourself that I did all this stuff today, and it's like I'll take a little break, right? But that little break can go far, because I'm telling you, I get those a lot. I'm not perfect, all right? I do, let's say I read a book for 20 minutes. I'm like, let me just play video games, right? And that goes on for an hour. I plan to do maybe for 30 minutes, but you don't know how fast the time goes, you know what I mean? So really gotta think of as don't let those little stuff get into your way.
What sounds more exciting? Reading a book or playing video games?
Playing video games, 100%.
Because instant gratification, we enjoyed pleasure, right? That's why
Depends
TikTok
for who.
got so famous. Why TikTok got so famous is because people love to just sit back, get instant gratification, and get that dopamine in, rather than actually putting the work toward their goal. And of course, honestly, in my opinion, bold take here, I think this is the weakest generation of all time, of just their attention span, number one, which is clear, and their determination.
How could it not be? We were literally set up.
And we were set up. Do you guys ever see the David Goggins quote where he just talks about it's so easy to be great nowadays because no one wants to put the work in? I feel like that's so true. With all these technology advancements and stuff, making our lives easier and more lazier, people are less inspired more than ever to just
To go out and actually do something, right? Just not
exactly.
just like, you know what I mean? Everything's mostly done more now online. So yeah, it's like they go out less.
Less work for
explore.
explore, meaning less discipline, and it's just a whole. It's a whole graph. I feel like.
It seems like more people are also surprised for how determined you may be. Like I have a lot of situations where like a lot of people now are more like kind of like surprised in how much work you put in and how hard you're working, because they don't really get to see a lot of the young people, especially, working so hard nowadays. So it's more surprising for them to see it when you do it, and you get
It's
praised
like
a lot from basically like taking over now.
It's the expectation is to be sitting on a chair and playing video games for 4 hours every night.
You actually get paid, like, you know what I mean? Like playing video games, people make money out of it. Yeah. Yeah, but what's the point of having a life like that? At least for me, like no disrespect to people who make money like that, but at the same time, it's like you're really not exploring anything in life.
That's all I can say about it. Well, I mean, the technology. George is right. Like it's literally technology. It set us up. Like for example, if I were to go to Thailand right now, I would find a 16-year-old boy, innocent as hell. He's a virgin, with a sex toy that is fully like renovated. I am dead serious. As weird as it sounds, like that's what.
Are we supposed to be talking about this on the podcast? Like,
give me an example. No, just hold on.
No.
Let me cook. Ready? But the reason I'm bringing that up is because they see that they have that as an option in it. So let's say they're scared to talk to a girl. Instead of going out there and learning and getting some game, Riz, right? They're gonna just stay at home, use that, whatever the fuck the throw.
It's easily accessible, right? That's what you're trying to say. Guys,
It's
exactly, yeah. This conversation is gonna take us like too far if we start talking about this, but like another thing is they just promote a lot of that now because of knowing how much of young boys, I'm gonna say guys, and even girls struggle with the whole thing about dating and finding healthy relationship. Obviously, they are people that are in a relationship, but what I know from my friends, from my experience, there's just like not a lot of healthy relationships with guys and girls, especially what's going on nowadays. This is gonna take us far, but just to say that, so they're pushing towards the pressure that people are going through. So, and then they make that as a normal thing for them to have. And back to the point of like playing video games and stuff, it is a passion for somebody, but dude, you're locked in a room most of your day because that's what you make money on. You have to stream, people watch you, they kind of like hold you accountable for having a certain amount of hours for your stream. They want to be entertained, so you're there to show them, obviously. But when you're really not exploring anything in life, what are you learning? How to crank 90s and how to like, you know what I mean? That's the what are you actually learning? Yeah, there are strategies to it, really smart ones, because there are like people that I know that play video games, and when they get out of the video games and they just want to start working out, they're also passionate to actually gain some muscle, a passion towards something to be better. However, they built that from playing video games, but that's the thing though, that's not their passion anymore. They're making money playing video games, easy waking up, sitting on their computer, whatever. And they really got nothing to really compete with when they have such an easy life.
Yeah, and that's a good word, passion, because I think passion also helps you stay disciplined. Seriously, because if you're passionate about what you're doing, like you've definitely heard how people. I had to hold myself back. This motherfucker behind the cams. I'm gonna beat his ass after this. No, but for real. That you obviously heard that if you enjoy what you're doing as your job, then you're never gonna work a day in your life. That's how it is as like a teenager. If you are passionate about what you're doing, you love it. It's not like something you have to do. It's something you want to do. Then you feel inclined to do it. You're gonna keep being disciplined. You're gonna stay on that right path, and then you're gonna grow bigger.
It is really the perspective. It's just how you view things. For some people, that might be their passion that they found and they really enjoy doing. But in my opinion, that's really not something that you should really push towards.
If they like it, they like it. Who cares? But people like do what they do.
At the end of the day, matters what you think, what you love.
I just want to make one bold take before we wrap up. I don't know about you guys, but I believe that one of the worst inventions of mankind is virtual reality. I think the absence of real reality and going into a virtual world where you get everything you want, which, guess what? In life, you don't get everything you want. You don't get to choose your girlfriend. You don't get to choose the place you were born, right? To go on this escape reality is one of the worst ideas of mankind.
Dude, I like that a lot. That is literally the point of the whole video game thing, dude.
If
Like,
you're
I'm telling
scared of
you.
talking to a woman, you go onto this reality of this fake woman that has no meaning to you at all.
Exactly.
And you just
You don't even know them.
You don't even try to talk to a woman. You just go into this little reality that's, guess what? Not real. Complete bullshit.
And in life, it's like life's really like a war. Like, you have to go and get what you want. You have to fight for what you want. You can't just sit back, relax, and get what you want. It's there. You're on the other side. You see somebody trying to grab it. You have to go and snatch that from them, kind of thing. Not literally, but you gotta fight.
You gotta
for what
fight
you
for
want.
it. Exactly. Yeah, you
Whoever
gotta fight
wants
for
it more is the one that gets it. That's just how it is. It's a battle.
Survival.
You can't avoid it. And if you do try to avoid it, then you're just gonna be miserable. You're gonna let
You're not gonna be
somebody
happy
else
with-
win. You're not gonna be happy.
And do you guys have any idea what those Japanese teenagers are gonna be doing with virtual reality? I'm so serious. Like, they are like,
Oh yeah, they're in the with that technology.
no. Listen, do you guys have the slightest idea? Like this is a perfect example of why Josh is saying that shit is terrible. Don't fall for it, guys. Do not. Stay strong. Embrace Andrew Tate. No. I'm messing. I like that.
But, I mean, yeah.
Also for Israel. No, I was joking. I'm messing.
But I mean,
I'm not like,
what's the advice that we would give them? Like, I understand the whole thing with, yeah, you have to go and get what you want and stuff, but how do you really get to the mindset of really wanting to have the passion to be that warrior, to go and get what you want, get what you're worth in this era of kind of, I would say, weakness?
I think, guys, to start off, think of something. I know we all think of like something that we want to start that we haven't started yet. Starting today, whatever that is, begin. And don't start in the hardest challenge. For example, if it was
Or
meditating.
don't say I'm gonna start tomorrow. Start
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, start today. For example, I had this thing where I did push-ups every morning and every night, right when I woke up and right when I went to bed. It was a great disciplinary mindset. Because guess what? When I wake up, last thing I want to do is do push-ups. And before I go to bed, last thing I want to do is push-ups. Whatever it is for you, whatever your goal is, whatever you haven't started yet, every morning and every night, do it for a minute or how many reps it is and build your way up. And that's how you start. You get this mindset going, and then you build and you build and you build, and you don't stop, and you don't let 2 days get in your way.
Exactly. Not even one.
it
It is really the beginning. It's really just you putting out yourself out there and failing, losing. But eventually you will win, because every loss is another step to success. It's really that's just how it is. You're gonna go on a battlefield against somebody, and they're gonna win over you. They're gonna take something from you that you wanted bad enough. But guess what? You have to bounce back from there and battle that person, or if not that person, somebody else, to get what you want. And eventually you will overcome that barrier, overcome that challenge, to be strong enough to get there before somebody else. Kind of like win over somebody else. That's just how life is. It's a loss and it's a win. And you choose to fail if that's the option. Failing is really just, it's not temporary unless you choose to make it temporary.
Success.
Yeah, it is.
I think
hard you can get and keep moving forward.
Before we wrap up. No, and we guys, our first ever shout out. And this goes to at Brad Canterall on YouTube. And he said, awesome work. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Keep it up. Looking forward to watching more. And we can't thank you, Brad. And to
Thank you so
everyone
much.
that commented. Right. We got some awesome feedback. I hope you guys enjoy the lighting. And thank you, dude. The journey, anyone who wants to start a podcast, It's not easy. It's not as easy as it looks. The amount of obstacles it takes, you learn. All these failures all lead to a step to success.
And it teaches you something greater than you think.
Yeah, and let us know what you guys want us to talk about in the next episode.
What about quote of the day?
And the quote of the day, Sadula.
All right, quote of the day. Self-discipline is about controlling your desires and impulses while staying focused on what needs to get done to achieve your goal.
Just like that, guys. Beautiful.
Take care.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you guys.